Good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started with our post-game with manager Bud Black. If you have questions, go ahead and raise your hands. Patrick Saunders.
I want to ask you about the double play that Charlie pulled off, where he threw back behind Trey Turner. Trevor made the tag. That was a pretty significant play in the moment in the game, didn't you think?
I totally agree. Momentum changer. It's like a fumble in football in the NFL, right? When you're driving and then maybe you fumble, and the other team recovers. I mean, we were, bases loaded, no outs. They had, the game was a seesaw game to start with, and the momentum was back on their side, and that was a momentum shifter for sure. That was a huge play. But Charlie, again, where the ball was hit, and where Trev had to align for the cutoff and relay was right there around the bag, and it worked out for us where the ball was hit. If the ball was hit in any different spot, Trev would be lined up differently for the cutoff throw. So it worked out.
It's unusual to see him walk in a run for sure. That's 2 starts in a row where he hasn't been Herman-like. Did you see anything tonight that?
I think, he came, in the 5th inning, he came out of his delivery. He was trying to get the ball down. He was trying to get the double play ball. Excuse me. I thought he threw some good pitches to Betts leading off the inning. I thought there were some quality pitches there. And the Dodgers will lay off borderline pitches. We've seen that. I think Fosse at one point said there were 16 pitches thrown in that inning, and they only swung at 3. So they made us get the ball in the strike zone. But I thought that he came out of his delivery a little bit. It really looked like he was trying to force the ball down to keep the ball on the ground for a potential double play once he walked Betts. And his delivery looked a little rushed. It looked sped up. I think he was trying to do too much. I think he got caught up in the moment of, impactful game, and came out of his delivery.
Nick Roque.
Yeah, hey buddy, it's Nick. I'm just gonna go on this one. It was maybe one of the better bullpen games you've had all year. 5 innings and just 1 hit, no runs. You really had a mix too. You had the guys with some service time, Bard and Kinley, and then some younger guys, Sheffield and Gilbreath. Do you notice when when you have a mix like that that maybe the less experienced pitchers kind of rise to that occasion when they're I know it's an individual performance, but they sort of rise to the rest of the pen?
Well, I think those 2 guys have for sure, Sheffield and Gilbreath, especially Gilbreath here in the second half, and Sheff since his return. Even Sheff early in the year before he got injured, he was throwing the ball well too. And really, Nick, Kinley doesn't have a ton of service time either. Bardo does, but Stevenson has what, 3+ years. But I agree. That was one of our better bullpen games for sure. 1 hit, 5+ innings. So, like I said, part of our, second half success when we win is the bullpen. The bullpen is strained out for the most part. Bunch of guys are throwing the ball better these last 2 months than the previous 3.5 months. So that's a good sign for them that they're finishing strong. I love that. But totally agree. This was a game that the bullpen was needed, and we got to their bullpen a little bit. So it was a good game for us.
Cool. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Thomas Harding.
Yeah, buddy. Also, we talk a lot about the Dodgers stringing together at bats and situational hitting. I thought if you look at your fourth, fifth, and even the seventh inning, it looked like you guys kind of on a little bit of a roll with that. Where do you feel this team is up and down the road?
That's what it takes. We've talked about that a lot. And again, I think the second half it's been better. First half, obviously the numbers speak for themselves, but I really liked a couple of the approaches there in the fifth, especially with 2 strikes, taking the ball the other way, putting the ball in play. Trev had a couple opposite field hits. Crony, 2-strike, tough slider. Put the ball in play and got a blooper. You always have a chance when you hit the ball. I think that's part of what we're talking about a little bit internally is you got to fight and you got to put the ball in play. You got to fight some pitches off and foul ball or put in play. Some good things will happen, but it's been much better the second half.
Also, Rogers kind of continuing some good things there. It seems like he's taking the calm at bat and really jumping on the pitch when he can.
Yeah, got a hold of that hanging breaking ball from Bueller to get us our first run. Brendan has shown some, all field power and all field base hits. Got the ground ball through the hole, but again, it goes back to his he's comfortable in the batter's box. He's got great confidence in his ability to hit. Physically, he's got a short stroke. His hitting mechanics are pretty pure. So it's showing up. It's showing up for big leagues.
Last one for me. You talked about how Charlie's defensive play is like the other team's driving and they fumble. Does he get a forced fumble for that leadoff play in the seventh where he runs over the pitcher and it kind of opens up the door for you guys?
Yeah, I got to look at that play. And that's a baseball play, right? That sort of converging. That was the little tapper up the line. 2 guys, trying to get to the base or trying to, make a play. It's different when, maybe if he has the ball standing in the baseline and the runner's, 4 or 5 feet away. I mean, that's different. But, that was a baseball play. 2 guys converging at one spot. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time, buddy.